Too Strong has been around for a minute, at least a couple, 3, maybe 4 years, at least in the background. Some of us have only known us for 4. But we do need to address a couple of things. Every once in a while, we do need to come to the forefront and come clean about something. And I think this is our time. This is our come to Jesus moment, if you don't mind us saying so. Over the last 6 or 7 months or so, the internet has been abuzz with an individual by the name of Sean Puffy Combs. Before that, it was a buzz with a woman by the name of Jaguar Wright. Before that, it was a buzz with all manner of people, including people like Walsh and you name it. It's been a buzz. Too Strong has been covering nearly all of them all the time. But we seem to be the ones always catching flack for our take on things, even though we never fully, on few occasions, we have completely committed ourselves to a thought process. Just for asking questions or just not believing somebody because we find holes in their story. So when we do find holes and we ask the speculative questions, somehow, some way, we become the bad guys. It used to be that if you don't necessarily believe something, you can ask questions about it and have people come to the front, answer your questions to help you believe. For some reason, that does not apply to Too Strong. It is not that we're trying to seek validation, friendship, or love, but we do want some clarification about the why. Why is it that when we cover something, people think we're Johnny-come-latelys having no history of our channel? People seem to forget that we've been doing this thing for over 4 years now. And it's more than 4, possibly going on 5. It's been a long time. In fact, it would be because we were doing this before Joe Biden became president. In fact, it happened during Donald Trump's presidency. So we've been on this internet for a bit. So it feels kind of weird when people bring certain things to us and ask us certain questions, not knowing that we either covered them before and covered them a long time ago. One such event popped up in our comment section, and we felt the need to address it, not to defend ourselves, but to point something out that I think everybody should take notice of. This is not to belittle, berate, embarrass, harm, or even clown anybody. That is not the point of this. The point of this is to ask people to go back, do your research, investigate before saying something, because the only person you can possibly embarrass by not doing that is yourself. One person commented, I'm not going to read his name, but he's in the comment section of one of our videos. If you want to go find it yourself. So when are you going to expose Jay-Z, Beyonce, or anything about his connection to the Satanist Abramovic? It's different spelling that he gave, but it's Abramovic, Maria. Or his occult symbolism. That's what gatekeepers do, divert attention. Now, before I read our response to that statement, I want to make something abundantly clear. Too Strong has been covering all of this stuff since day 1. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you go back to our videos, we've covered everything from the Vatican to Hollywood, to positive things about the black community, to negative things about the black community, positive things about the whites, to the negative things about we have covered everybody. But it seems either it gets thrown. I mean, we do have a lot of videos on our channel. I think 1,700 or something like that. So it's a lot. I get it. But it only took a little bit of typing in our name and the person you think we might have talked about or not talked about to find out if we did. In fact, we've covered Abramovich and her connection to Jay-Z. In fact, we've covered not her connection to Jay-Z, but also Beyonce's, and not only Beyonce's, but Kanye's, and not only Kanye, Frank Ocean's, not only Frank Ocean's, just about everybody you can think of in Hollywood, we have covered. But many people don't believe that we have. So what we've started to do is this. We do understand that people want to get some information. They want the information, so we're not going to hide the information from you. So this was our response. And I want to know from the people out there if you think it's an appropriate response or if you think we're being condescending or that we shouldn't defend our position knowing full well that we've done something that people said we have not done. The same way we would defend ourselves if they're telling us we've done something and we didn't do it. So if you're telling us we didn't and we did, we have a problem. If you're telling us we haven't done something and we did, that's also a problem. Oh, wow. We totally forgot to expose Jay-Z. Except, for the multiple videos we've already made doing exactly that. But hey, don't let facts get in the way of your keyboard crusade. Because a lot of people do come on here thinking that they can grandstand, push something, and make it true. Problem number 1, not because you believe something makes it true. Especially when the internet has proof otherwise. and this does have proof otherwise. Since research isn't everybody's strong suit, here's a little cheat sheet for you. And we dumped 5 videos that we've done on Jay-Z, spanning back as far as 3 years ago. Now, we are not Johnny-come-latelys to this thing. We've been talking about these people for forever. In fact, we have actually gotten strikes trying to talk about this stuff. Yeah. When we first started talking about it and that little thing that they used to do, that was a no-no on YouTube. So we kind of veered away from extreme detail. And we started moving to a little bit more vague, but still secure statements. But it seems people don't actually go do a look into what we've been talking about. Even when somebody like Jag or Ali Carter came talking, and they were the ones that were bringing light to everything, we were speaking about the stuff they mentioned years before they did. And I mean years before they did. But do we look for the props for that? No, it's not that we're trying to get a pat on the back. But what we're not going to stand by and let people do is tell us we didn't do something when we've been at the forefront of it long before the individuals that are rising to the top as foam have said it's not going to happen. At some point, just like with anybody else, you have to defend your ground. And we're defending it. We're not trying to be verbose or braggadocious. We're trying to defend truth. We're not going to have people lie or sully our name. The same way when people say, all you do is talk about black people, and the majority of our videos are about white perpetrators. It's kind of weird and almost tells me that you're not really interested in finding out what we talk about. You're just pushing what you believe about us. And I don't think that's the best response to have to anything. A bias can get you into trouble, and a bias can blind you from the truth. We found that out the hard way when we started to befriend certain people that ended up stabbing us in the back. We're no longer going to do that, but we're also not going to sit by and just randomly let people walk all over us on the internet, even though it is just the internet and they're just people that are some ways inconsequential to us. But there are people that are going to read a comment and not read the rest. And so we have to at least put out there that we have indeed covered these things, because it is important, not just important to the channel, but important to people so that they know that our word goes back a long way. Maybe watch those before embarrassing yourself again in the comments. Just a thought. But either way, we really appreciate your support, an opportunity to prove ourselves worthy to listen to. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to strongpodcast@gmail.com. That goes to anyone. Anyone. We have never shied away from a discussion, never shied away from a debate, never shied away from an interaction. We also don't shy away from telling people exactly where we stand. We do understand that our point of view is a little bit strong. But you have to understand this. Our point of view comes from years of testing that point of view. And when we do have that point of view, we've tested it so much that we do stand on it. And until someone can break that platform, we're not going to give it up. We have been talking about these people, Hollywood elites, religious elites, governmental elites, for forever. A long time. Before Jaguar Wright came on the scene, before Ali Carter came on the scene, we have been talking about it. And not only have we been talking about it, we've been exposing multiple people for the things that they do in Hollywood and elsewhere. And what we're not going to do is just sit by and allow what hard work we've done to be dragged through the mud because of people who don't understand what we do. For those of you who have supported us, we greatly appreciate your support. For people who have sent us information, who have corrected us when we're wrong to make sure that we're on the right track, we greatly appreciate that. And we welcome anyone who can put us on something correctly. But if you're just doing it because you are upset at the people we're exposing, then we have a problem. It tells us that your bias is stronger than your need for truth. And if your bias is stronger than your need for truth, then you probably shouldn't be talking. Maybe do some introspection before you come on God's internet to talk about people, and do the same thing that you're accusing others of. It's a great practice, and we've tried to put that into play, but not all the time, not successfully. We're not perfect, but what we do pride ourselves on is this. We will listen to all points of views. We'll at least give you the time of day to flesh your point out. But if at any moment you feel it necessary to come at us sideways, do not forget how Too Strong began. Too Strong is not above mudslinging. We're trying not to. Trust us, we don't want to fling mud. But we grew up in it. We're from the old school. It's not beyond us to do it. We're not trying to be that kind of platform. We do want to bring exposure to the truth, reality, and of course, first and foremost, bring people to the knowledge of who God is. But what we ain't going to do is sit by and let people just decide to say stuff that ain't true. It's not going to happen here, never will happen here, and we're never going to allow it in the future.
Training athletes, build leaders, changing communities. At Mentors for Life, sponsored by the Bully Me Bad Project, we provide free professional sports training and mentorship to youth with passion, drive, and the desire to grow. We connect them with top-tier coaching and leadership tools that unlock their full potential. Our athletes train with elite professionals like Coach Cedric Booty of CM3, who's worked with NBA players such as Jaden Ivey and Blake Wesley, and the dynamic team of Tevin Lake and Bobo from T2 Sports Performance. Together, they've trained standout athletes including Notre Dame football stars, NFL offensive lineman Danny Piner, and Kyron Williams. In a school or neighborhood of 1,000 youth, 5 redirected lives can mean 5 future leaders, 5 families spared heartbreak, and 5 powerful stories of hope. And this is backed by research from the Money Smart Athlete Foundation, which shows that athletes have a powerful influence on youth behavior, confidence, and long-term success. We don't just build athletes, we build mentors. High school students who complete our program will become certified Mentors for Life members and will be paid to speak, lead, and coach the next generation. To support Mentors for Life, all you have to do is click here if you're on a mobile device, or click here if you're on a computer to donate or learn more. Or you can reach us directly at mentorsforlife574@gmail.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mentors for Life. Donate today and help save our youth.